Hey, this is Jay Chatfield, Loving Yourself to Life. Woke up with something else on my heart today. I was watching a couple of things on some on TV, some on, YouTube, and I saw a couple of things. So everything is about relationship. Everybody should ask themselves why. Why is most of the things geared towards relationship? It's either going to be geared towards relationship, money, or maybe some type of greed in some type of way, but it all stems from certain things. It's the same thing. It's always the same issue, right? So I just want to say this, and like when I when I um in 2013, that's when my life began to change drastically. We were in a group, an apartment ministry group, and we had to share the gospel in that apartment ministry. But it became more about the numbers than it became about truly what was in our hearts to share with people. And this was when I became my sickest. This is when I became the most depressed. And during that time from 2013 to 2017 that we were there, my life changed. My views changed. My beliefs were challenged, and it was challenged in a great way. So remember, I told you I grew up in a Baptist church. I went to a Lutheran school. I went to a Catholic school. I had friends that were Muslim, and then someone that were Jehovah Witness. I remember when I got a hold of that Jehovah Witness book, girl, I just knew I wasn't the one. But then I had a dream that was, hey, look, don't be scared. You're one of us. So I'm like, okay, so I'm one of you guys, or whoever told me that, I'm grateful. And it put my life at ease at a young age. So in this CARES program, my mind had to be open and expanded because down the line, I knew I had to work with people that had different belief systems, right? That had different all types of different backgrounds. But being raised in a Christian environment has you seeing this and this only. Like if somebody comes to you and tell you that they're a Christian, you automatically think that they have the same morals and values as you do, right? You automatically do. But then you don't think about what their environment has produced in them. Like you don't think about all the trauma that has happened in you nor them. So when you ask for a certain type of, not even a type, somebody who has a belief system that is honestly all over the place, if for real, it's all over the place. People say they try to make it simple, but it's not simple. Even when you read it, even when you read the Bible, it's not a simple thing when you pull it down to relationship, because on one end it'll say, you know love your wives as yourself. Well, if you don't love yourself, if you are if you are um um coming at her from your trauma and your experiences, that stuff needs to be handled before you even have a wife. Because there's no way that you can fully love a wife when you have mom issues, dad issues, trust issues. That is hard. Because you're not fully um giving yourself to you. So there's no way that you can give anything. You're not even trying to, even in a relationship, you're not even trying to give yourself to the other person. You're there to live a cohesive purpose together. But if something happens where that person doesn't look and do what you think should be done, one, it's going to give. You have to understand the relationship between you and your partner and understand who your partner is. And that's something that I talk about when I do my coaching. Okay. So saying that I want a good Christian man that loves God, that's something that is taught to you in Christianity that is outside of yourself. That is why I don't go for that. I don't tell me that you want a good Christian man that love God, because what does that mean? What does that mean for that person, that person that you're looking for as a person? So when I was in this apartment ministry, I used to talk to everybody, like everybody in every religion, and we would go around and say, hey, go to church, and they would be like, you know what, I go to the mosque 3 times a day, and I'm like, and I'm good, and I'm like, these things like that. I met a couple of people who were married for 30 years. I met a couple of people who were married for 2, who were just getting married. And then some people truly find that person that really complements their experiences and their mindset at the time, right? But if in any case they don't grow together, then there's going to be some issues. Again, those are like specific. What I'm saying is that when you say this is what you want, and the person hasn't really been taught what that is, you're going to get surfacely what you get, unless that person that you said, I want a woman of God, I want her to pray for me, I want her to whatever, put a towel over her head, kneel down, and submit and all this other kind of stuff. Great. That's great. Listen, I have no problem submitting. I mean, look at some of my other videos, but it's who you are submitting to. Have you submitted to yourself? One, because you are going to tell you when you're out of line with that other person. Anything on the outline you can dupe. You can say, I go, you know what I'm talking about. You can go out there and just be like, yes, and I do this for my husband, and I do this for my wife, and I do this with my children, and you go home and you're abusive and you that. You could dupe them people outside, but you can't dupe yourself. You just can't. There is nothing in me that makes me want to hurt my husband or my children, because I am in love with me, and because I am in love with me, I can't treat anybody else any other way. Any other way. But if a person hasn't worked on themselves to that level, when it talks about love love your wife as you love the church, it's not talking about a physical building. It's talking about you, because you can't love in the energy of something else if you are not that thing. You can't. It's really impossible, because at some point you're going to fall out of love. And one person that you fall out of love with yourself, but when you really understand you, um to the core, then you'll know that, look, I go to sleep with myself. I'm with myself all the time. And if I do anything to anybody else, that's going to hurt me, because I'm going to be thinking about it, because I just hurt myself. Everybody is an aspect of you living their journey. That's why you're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. But in relationships, when they talk about if a guy isn't loving a woman God's way, what is that? Because they don't do a good job of telling you what that is in the indoctrinated system of church, of whatever. I don't know. It was like that in Catholicism too, and if I remember, especially Christianity, so heavily patriotic. It was male heavy, and it was brought to my attention by a child that said, "Why is it always the men who benefit? Why can they just go do everything, and the woman is just like?" And this was from a teenage boy and girl, and it was like, that's kind of messed up. Because it doesn't teach, it teaches you that this is the thing. But if that man is not in tune to himself, and he has handled his past experience, his trauma, and everything, and then is is aware, have a self-awareness that he will have to continually work on himself, as you will have to continuously work on yourself. See, the thing is that people are getting more relational information from the outside than they are from the inside. They look at this and they see people who have this, but you never know what goes around, what goes on there. And people will say, yeah, I know that, but he loved God. Look at that man at the altar. Look at that man at the altar. But then look at his white face sitting there. I remember I've been to so many churches and the pastor was doing this thing. Lady was sitting on the side like, bruh, I wish you only showed this at the house. Kids was life. I only saw my daddy. I had close friends that was like, yeah, he was married to the church and not to me. Guess he took that thing literally. Every time I turned around, he was going out the door to go help somebody else. But that's to me, that's a trauma. Because honestly, when somebody tells you to do something out like that doesn't agree with you, you're gonna tell them, look, I can't go out. This is my family. My family is first. I don't care what y'all think out there. My daughter needs me. My son needs me. My wife needs me. And we just need to take a step back. Missing church don't mean you ain't saved. If you go out of church for that saved thing, if that's what you think, saved. But it's built out of fear. But we're not going into that. Because you can be of any belief system, because it's a belief system. You can be in any belief system, but you also got to know that the line, you have to be able to think outside of it when it comes to morals and values. You can have whatever you would like to do. Like, I could be with somebody that has a statue and an altar, excuse me, because I know who I am. Now, what I couldn't do is and this goes really deep, but you do attract who you are, right? No, people who do spells and are bringing certain entities into the house. No, that's not for me. They could very well still be a Christian. That's what I'm saying. They could be a Muslim. They could be NOI. They could be anything, but it's the same thing. It's just meaning the same thing, meaning what is that person? What is your purpose with that person? Have they handled these things? What are your daily practices? I don't care if you go to church and I don't, but that's me. A lot of people's like, no, we need to worship together. Where'd you get that from? I'm just saying. And people will say the Bible. Okay, fine. Then you find somebody who goes to church with you and beat your butt when you go home, or talk to you sideways when you leave church. What I'm saying is that you need to know and spend time outside of this belief stuff. What's the mindset about? What's the mindset about growing? What's the mindset about all of the things that matters from the day-to-day stuff, not the Sunday stuff, not the people that you can just pull the wool. And then now you can't even do that. You can't even pull the wool over people's eyes anymore. And I'm not even telling you to leave whatever you're telling and that you're in. I'm telling you to open your eyes to the truth. If a person does not have a good relationship with themselves, if a person does not have a good relationship with or that has a good relationship of growing, because a lot of people don't want to grow. And it was like, what's your idea of growing? Well, again, those things are specific. That's what you should be looking for in a relationship, but also you should be looking for a good relationship with yourself. Just period. So I could talk about this all day. Again, most of the things I'm trying to talk like over here, but it's really specific. It's really specific, but then it's also the same. Like, what's your morals? What's your what do you What is it that you know? I don't want to know what you believe, because beliefs don't have to be backed up. I want to know if we could live together and be on one accord with the things that matter. I knew a couple where the lady went to church for 40 years, and the husband didn't. He believed that he should be resting on Sunday. And she said she fought with him in the beginning, but he was a good husband to her, and a good dad to and the kids vouched for it. Dad was the best. Mom was the best, because that's personal. I do believe, and if you're with someone that you share that same spirituality, that is awesome. Listen, that is great. That beyond, because it will pay off. It will pay off. But a person needs to know that the relationship with themselves is the best relationship, the one that you can't dupe yourself out of. And again, when you meet someone, you need to know what is it that you think about yourself? How is it that you think about your growth? What is it that you think about when it comes to morals? And that person, if they got to show you, because you're looking for something that's not superficial. You're looking for the authentic piece, and it will be shown to you. Not how much money, not what the job. That stuff is superficial, guys. Oh, he look good, he do this, he that. That stuff is superficial. If you ask for the true authenticity of a person, you will be shown that. All right. Till next time, this is Jay Chatfield, Loving Yourself to Life. Thank you for joining the Patreon. I am so grateful. If you got questions about this, go ahead, leave a message. That's what this group is for. And I am so grateful for you. Gratitudes. Look forward to talking to you.